Welcome to Clueless with Ogre and Big Paulie. Welcome to another episode of Clueless with Ogre and Big Paulie. How are you, Big Paulie?
Ogre, I am fantastic, but it's different this time. It's different. It's dark outside here in Queensland,
no.
and Victoria is obviously daylight savings. Now, I've had this discussion about should Queensland have daylight savings or not, and I'm not quite sure where I sit on the fence, but it's a bit confusing when I'm trying to speak to people and I go, what time is it in Victoria? And I have to Google it again. I know it's an hour and I'm not that smart, so I have to Google that. And then my wife's been in Bali again. I have to Google what time it is in Bali. But this afternoon, tonight, we're ready to go tonight at 7:30 p.m. Melbourne time. And I was just minding my own business down the street, getting a few things at the shops, Ogre, and I looked at my little clock and I thought, I've got a bit of time up my sleeve. And then I realised I was in a rush because I was working on Queensland time and not Melbourne time. So I'm a little frazzled. I'm a little unfresh. I had to gulp me dinner down and just to make it here on time. So I'm going well, but I'm just adapting to daylight savings, Ogre.
It's taken a few weeks because we love daylight saving down here. You mentioned, I was going to ask you, have you had time for a feed, Big Paulie? Because I've whipped up a classic tonight. Steak and chips. Does it get any better than that?
Please tell me. Surely you've had eggs with it.
No, I didn't actually. Just the straight egg chips. Yeah, love it.
Did you make the chips yourself, cut them back from the potato and put them in the air fryer or just straight?
Straight from the bag, but, cooked them beautifully. I was really happy with it. And recommendation at home, get back on the steak and chips because it's not bloody cheap anymore, Paulie. Well, it never was, but it's bloody expensive to have a steak. You're nearly cheaper going out for one, I reckon.
It's bloody expensive. It's expensive, full stop, okay? I've been batching again. The bride decided she worked 3 weeks straight, so needed a holiday, and she took off to Bali. So I've been managing the house and the shopping. I tell you what, you go to Aldi and you don't get much for $30. I'll give you the tip. But talking of recipes, I have found one myself. So have you ever been to Aldi, by the way?
I'm a regular.
Aldi, if you can go on a Tuesday and something will be there in row 7, this whatever. You go tomorrow or the next day, it could be 4 aisles away. They don't.
There are only 4 aisles, though, Paul. Don't be calling them aisle 7 in Aldi. That's the beauty of the 4 aisles. Do you walk along and go, a trumpet? Do I need a trumpet? I'm there for some essentials, and there in the middle aisle is a trumpet. I had a friend. He rang up. He rang his missus up, and he said, hi, love. Do you think we need a trumpet? Right? She's going, no. And I messaged him. I saw him and I said, thinking about getting a clarinet? He goes, no, I'm still learning the trumpet. Aldi, that middle aisle, it's amazing what's in there. You go, don't need it. There
is some fantastic deals at Aldi. But I'd put me back out just about at Aldi, Ogre. So I've been there. So I've got a little recipe, just as you might want to share this one too. So Aldi do these, $9 lamb gyros, I think they call it. You just fry it up in a pan, a bit of, tomato, cheese and all that sort of stuff. Last 2 nights when you're eating by yourself, so it's a cheap meal. So it will help will solve the world crisis of overpriced food. But I've done me back at Aldi, Ogre.
You slipped on a grape again.
I didn't slip on a grape, but I was trying to find something. And you go to Aldi and you go, a week ago, this stuff was in that aisle. Right? And I'm looking at it and people are bumping into me, walking past me. And I looked at this and I said, it's got to be here. The tandoori chicken sauce, there's all the plastic stuff there. And there's the mayonnaise and there's something else. I said, this is the aisle. I'm sure it was here last time. And I spent 3 minutes, Ogre, trying to look for stuff. In the end, in Aldi, I'm on my hands and knees looking on the bottom shelf, up at the back of the shelf. Lo and behold, there's what I needed, Ogre. I was so persistent that I knew it was there. I wasn't giving up, but they don't spend much time on stock reshelving at Aldi during the day, that's for sure. So, but I got me $1.99 tandoori chicken sauce and off I went. Off air, we might have to swap recipes, Ogre. I'm not sure anyone else is interested, but hey, I can share you I've got a couple of specialties going at the moment.
Well, you've really worked hard to get that $1.99 sauce, so there it is. We'll have to check that out. It's a hot item, obviously. If it's tucked away, wall deep on bottom aisle, you've got to be careful. But who have we got here for? You've got you're in charge of the guests tonight, Big Paulie. Who have we got for us, mate?
Well, Ogre, this is called Clueless, and you often think, well, I wish I know the tap's leaking or the shower's not working or the toilet's not working. And you think, well, I need a plumber. We have got a plumber, Ogre, to help us through all those little things that we need a plumber for. He's had an illustrious career. I think he's gone from, first year apprentice, and he's also got a very strong connection with one of our previous guests we will touch on. So I think we just welcome plumbers. So if you think plumbers, think of, what's that bloke's name who was on the show there? We'll come back to him.
You've been doing your research again.
Ebby or Kelly or whatever his name is, and we'll talk about him. But this bloke's better. This bloke is a better plumber. He's a better bloke. Welcome to Clueless Podcast, Chris Butchie Bell.
G'day, boys. How are we?
Butchie, we are well, mate. Now, straight off the bat, you know who I'm talking about. What's that bloke's name who was in the shows, the plumber? Do you remember? What's his name?
On what shows?
We're off to. This is not the first time I've raised something.
I only know one plumber, Paulie. That's me. I'm the number one to do that.
Well, we're going to get to that. But this bloke he fixed the toilets. He fixed the toilets and stuff. Shane Jacobson is his real name, and
Kenny.
There you go, Kenny.
Oh,
I knew we'd get there eventually. Butch is better. Now, Butch is a better plumber than Kenny, better bloke. So you're a domestic. Take us back a step before we start asking stupid questions, because I reckon I'm the only bloke who's been down to the shop to find a left-hand hammer, and I have got no idea about home maintenance. So we'll get to a bit of home maintenance tips, as we like to help our listeners. But you're a plumber. How did you start? At what time did you think plumbing would be a good profession?
Well, I didn't have much of a choice, Paulie. As you know, I wasn't real good at school, and I come home from school one day, and the old man found out that I think I was going to get expelled. So there was only one alternative. I've got you a job with me under-9 footy coach. He happened to be a plumber, and he said, guess what? You start next week. So I was off and started my apprenticeship, and I had no say in it. So.
Can we just go into the apprenticeship days, Butchie?
Yeah, mate.
We've had this chat. You got in the tradies, and you're sort of our vintage around the 50 mark. I'm making an assumption there, but let's say you go back to those days. Some say the good old days, but let's just say the old days. And you're starting an apprenticeship. Were there any pranks? Were the old classic apprenticeship pranks that you're part of or have been part of since?
No, well, the boss he wasn't one to do pranks. He was just full on, and he was hard work. And if I didn't do the job quick or properly, I got more of a thick head. He was the old real tough old guy that just pushed you too hard. But the pranks come a bit later in life when I started teaching a few on my own. So that's when the pranks really kicked in. But
what's your favourite one? Come on.
I didn't do one myself, but there's been a few where blokes have, where they pour the old cleaning fluid on the bloke's shoelaces and the boots when he's sitting in the dunning, they set fire to it. So then the boots go up, and then maybe the pants go up, and the next minute the apprentice is running down the toilet on fire. I haven't done it myself, but I've heard about it.
First year plumber, how old were you?
I started me.
When did you get kicked out of school? Grade 6?
Yeah, no, I did grade 6 3 times. I started my apprenticeship on my 16th birthday, Paulie, to be honest. So that was the start of my apprenticeship.
What does day one as the apprentice look like?
Well, all I did was, mate, get in the truck, get to the job, grab the pick out and grab the shovel. I dug for about 18 months straight.
That's digging holes.
Digging trenches, mate. Literally digging trenches. That's all I did. So
at houses, residential houses.
Yeah. The boss I did my time with, he was just residential houses. Yeah, units, houses, some big, Greek monstrosities out at Greenvale when Greenvale was just kicking off. So, yeah, we did some, all sorts of different houses, but, yeah, mainly domestic, yeah.
So I'd imagine the apprentice, the first year, second year, and maybe even third year apprentice he's the sort of go-to man for, let's call them sewage blockages. Is that what the day was made of?
No, well, that was sewage. Well, I was lucky for the sort of first 2.5, 3 years. We were all new houses, so we didn't have to touch the old sewage. But then the boss started helping a few people out, and then we might have repaired a few blockages, coming into my third year, which that was a bit interesting. But yeah, it's not as bad as it sounds, mate. That's what you see in the toilet. That's what you see. A bit magnified, though.
It's got to have the stench. You've got to get used to the smell, surely, Butchie.
Yeah, you do, mate. The smells. Yeah, she's not real good from the start, but it's never bothered me. I'm used to it. Some people can't stand it, but you've got to get used to it. Otherwise, you're looking for another trade, really. You
for sure.
All the time. Yeah,
so have you ever thought maybe you're out in the residence and that sort of stuff, and you go, oh, gee, that smells not so flash, and your mind wanders to, gee, is that me? Have I shit me pants? Or you
Yeah, well, you do. The smells, don't worry, there's some real right ones, but I'll tell you a story. The boss set me up one day, and there's, the old plunger story. You would have heard about the plunger. Anyway, you go out in the yard, remember the old gully trap you would have had out in the backyard where you put the tap over it and you have a drink when you're out and muck around in the backyard, and the old gully trap, you took the old cast iron grate out of it and it was blocked and all the sewage is coming out of it. And the boss tells me, get the plunger, and on the top of the plunger, the shaft, it's got a cap. So when you push the plunger down, the shit doesn't go up through the plunger and doesn't hit you in the face. Well, he took the cap off and he said, right, get into it, son. So I go plunge it and I've got a mouthful. So it was beautiful. So, yeah, that's a good initiation back to the live sewer. So, yeah, I think everyone's copped that in their day.
Well, not me, that's for sure. And I'll tell you what, I don't plan to be a plumber real soon. So what's the first year, second year? So we're going back, let's call it 40 years, Butchie, back to what's that, 1980-odd, 1985. What is the princely sum of a first-year apprentice? If there's change out of $100 or £40, I'll go eat.
Well, I can honestly tell you, my first paycheck was $88. So there you go. That was
after tax or before tax?
No, I think that's what I think. I took that home. I think that was, and Mum took 50 for board, so I was left with $38. So it wasn't,
for board,
you'd great.
It went a long way back then, though. $38 went a long way.
Yeah, I think back then it was still 20 cents for fish and chips, mate. You go and you fill your guts up on 20 cents worth of chips at the old Zach's milk bar, So it was good value back then.
Don't worry about the fish and chips. More importantly, what was a six-pack or a slab of beer worth in 1985 in comparison to your $88?
No, you know me, Paulie. I didn't start until I was later in life, so I wouldn't know when I was 16. I waited until I was 18. So I can't really answer that.
Very responsible of you.
Yeah, correct.
So,
yeah.
Butchie, when you tell people you're a plumber, did people say, I've got a question for you? Can you? What do you think? How can I?
Yeah, all the time. And then I usually say just...
Excellent. Can I be one of those people?
Yep, go for it.
When Butchie says, hang on, Aga, when Butchie says, when people ask Butch, what are you doing? And he says, I'm a plumber, they go, yeah, you look like one, I reckon. Hey? Oh, Butchie, you've got you look like a tradie,
Got the tradie look, yeah. Can't deny it.
So I'm in a rental and I've got a dripping sound in the kitchen sink tap. There is no leak externally.
No leak?
Visibly. But it's like a dripping sound, even after the dishwasher's gone, and it'll just be dripping. What could that possibly be?
You could have a ventilation, without going too technical, mate, you might have a little ventilation problem and it might be sucking the water out of the trap and you might be hearing dripping in the trap where the water goes down the drain.
Okay. Good to know.
That might be part of it. So, don't go too deep into it, mate. Call the professionals. You'll end up pulling the sink apart.
I don't know. I don't want to fix that shit, though. I don't want to be anywhere near it.
No, if you're in a rental, mate, just call the real estate.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But it's like, where's the dripping set? There's no drip. It's drip.
Yeah,
Where is it?
That'd be it.
Looking all around. It took me ages to find it's not there.
Yeah, be in the drain itself, probably.
Not your problem, Ogre, and you've tested Butch's memory there because I don't think Butch has done any real plumbing work or on-site calls for about 30 years, I reckon.
Yeah, no, it's been a little while.
Now, you run the plumbing world, don't you, down Geelong, Torquay way, Butchie, don't you? You've moved on from residential plumbing, I think.
Yeah, no, I did. I was just a short little thing. I did domestic, then I went into a bit of commercial stuff, and I ran my own little show there for a while. Did a lot of maintenance on. I looked after about 10 pubs, which were 24-hour gaming venues, the old Zagamis.
Did you do much contra, Butchie?
No, just it was all cash. It's all cash. Lebanese families, mate. Allegedly. Yeah, so no, that was good. That was good. And then I got into the commercial side of it, in the construction side of it when I moved to Torquay. So I got into in the construction side of it, and now I'm an OH&S rep now. That's a good way of putting it. We don't say union rep anymore, but I am actually a union delegate. So there you go, for the plumbers union. So fire away.
No wonder you've got the 4 Lamborghinis out the front. But so when was the last time you picked up a wrench? I would say a long time ago.
I still, every now and again.
Except to belt somebody.
Yeah, no, if the boys at work are listening to this, they'll deny it, but they'll say bullshit. But no, I every now and again I might get in there and give them a chop out for here and there, but very, very minimal, Paul. That's very, I think my tools are rusted, put it that way. I just borrow them there if I need to get in and give them a hand. But yeah, I know there's a tool bag in the garage somewhere, but I haven't seen it for a while. No, it'd be at least.
Well, you can't fix with a screwdriver. It can't be done.
Exactly. Get one of the apprentices to come round and fix it up with you. So that's about it. No, don't touch it now. The body's too old now. Can't bend down too well. So leave it to the young folk.
Well, that's a good point. Is it hard on the body? We're going back in the early days when you're actually in the trenches and digging and all that sort of stuff. But in your life, did it take a toll on your body? Is it as this tradie stuff? And I wouldn't know. But is it as hard as people complain or make out it is?
Yeah, no. Well, I can honestly vouch for it. It has taken a toll on my body. I had. Well, that's part of the reason why I got into the OH&S training. I actually got to a point where I had tennis elbows. Like I got one in my left elbow, and then 2 days later I got my right elbow gone. I couldn't literally lift the hammer. So it took a toll on me. Lower back issues and all that sort of stuff, but everyone's got them. But yeah, it does take a toll on you. All tradies cop it. Carpenters, brickies, they're all bending over all the time. Concreters are probably the worst though. Yeah, it does take a toll though.
And real estate as well takes a toll on your body as well. I can understand 100% the heavy lifting that goes with
paper cuts and staples and
yeah, and carrying your wallet. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So now, what does a day look like, OH&S? What does a day look like now for OH&S officer in charge, Butchie Bell?
All I do, mate, is I go around and just make sure my plumbing members are safe and they go home safe with their family. So I just go around and bark orders to the builders and make sure they fix the area up and make sure it's safe. That's all I do. 8 hours a day. 10 hours a day, depends what you do.
You would have seen a lot of changes in the OH&S concerns and regulations from when you started too, Butchie, and it's all for the better.
Oh yeah,
obviously. Or is that?
Yeah, it has, mate. Yeah, no, it has. Look, there's some things that go way too far, but it is. It's a hell of a lot better than what it was when I back in my day. Shit, if I spoke about some of the things I did when I was an apprentice, you just I just shake my head now, but yeah, and I
shake your head. You couldn't believe you did it.
Yeah, I couldn't believe I did it, and you look at people now, and I'm pulling them up for just minor things now, and think, geez, if they'd have seen what I was doing back in the day, Christ. So, yeah, no, it's changed. It's changed for the better, like heaps, mate. There's that many injuries you still hear about at work. Like in the construction industry, it's pretty dangerous. There's a lot of high risk stuff. So, there's a trench collapse. There was a trench collapse the other day where a bloke got stuck in a trench. So that's not great. But it is very dangerous. But yeah, that's my job. I've got to try and keep them safe. And
it's just continued then education of safety and just taking that extra step could save lives.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, mate. They keep training us and learning all the latest safety issues and all that sort of stuff. They do go too far with some things, but what do you do?
When you say too far, you say over
zealous.
Yeah, there's just
extenuating stuff.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, they overcomplicate things. Really, it's the old, the KISS motto: keep it simple, stupid. They need to do that sometimes, but they don't. There's too many bureaucrats involved, and just trying to justify their job, and it gets frustrating, but.
You can have more people supporting than actually doing.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, that can be a cynical view from someone who's not in construction, doesn't work on those sites, and not really concerned. Where you see a lot of people, but at times not a lot of action.
No.
But that's part of that safety rigmarole.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. No, it's all. Yeah, they do. They go away a bit too far now, but. Yeah, I just try and keep it simple. It's just you know your regulations, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't do, and I just keep it to that.
So what are those regulations again? We're clueless, as we say, on plumbing, and I'm even more clueless on this project development, project management. So you're in charge of OH&S. You see a couple of plumbers wandering around and they're building a big whatever. And what? To me, I'm thinking as long as they got their steel boots on, they got their helmet on, I reckon you're good to go. That's about okay. But sounds like it's a little bit more complicated than that.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's the protective clothing's the first one. Yeah, you're right. You're on the money there, Paulie. So they got that covered, and then it's just you pretty much you got to look. You just got to be aware of what's your surroundings. Like at the moment, I'm on a job where it's only there's a motel attached to a convention centre, and it's 10 levels on the motel. The convention centre's got 4 levels, but you got to look up. The cranes are gone now, but when the cranes are on, you're working around, cranes lifting, like 20-ton precast panels above your head. You got to look up and live basically. So you got to keep your wits about you and. Not that they drop too many panels. Well, you hope they don't because you ain't coming back from that. Your helmet ain't going to help you. But there's just things like that, mate. Scaffolding. You put a lot of trust in people. Building the scaffolds and building the formwork, holding the floors up. So that's a lot of. You got to put a lot of trust in your fellow workmates. So without going too deep in it, there's a lot of things that you wouldn't even see when you go past a construction site. You wouldn't have a clue what goes on, but. Yeah, it's pretty full on, but it has got better.
We're keen to go deep because we are hard hitting here on Clueless. We go to the root of the problem. We educate our listeners. So you said before that a trench collapse. Now, was that on your watch or on your team or on your project, or that's just an industry thing that you're aware of?
No, it was in Victoria. Yeah, I haven't heard too much about it. I only heard it the other day that it was a plumber. He's I don't know how far he got pinned, but he was the trench collapsed, and I just heard that he may have not been doing the right thing, and that just the trench went on him and it pinned him in. And he was pinned, so I got told today that he's all right. He's got a couple of broken ribs, but he was a very lucky boy. It could have been fatal, So he was very lucky, I think.
So when you say trench, you're talking, so someone's digging, not you going back 35 years, but they've dug out a trench to lay some pipes or sewage or whatever they're doing, and he's down there, 6 foot, 8 foot, 12 foot deep, and it's caved in on him. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he could be. Well, yeah, you're meant to, just the basic rule is you're not meant to dig over 1.5 without benching benching the dirt back and keeping it safe. So if it does collapse, you're only sort of pinning your legs, but there's when you get any over deeper than that, you're meant to put shields in, trench short with shields, and I believe that the trench shores were in, but I think he may have stepped out outside the shield, this bloke, and the collapsed on him. So that was a lucky one. I've heard some bad ones where you don't even, they're gone, mate. They're engulfed and they never find them. So.
Well, I reckon, Butchie, you would have a big job in Bali, Butch, I reckon, when digging trenches. When I was there a couple of years ago, they were doing a little development, and without a word of a lie, there would have been 60 blokes squatted down, no shoes on, and digging the trenches, and some bloke putting a few pavers out and all that sort of stuff. This went on for a month. There was no hard hats, no shoes, no nothing. I didn't see anyone inspecting anything either, but lo and behold, you go back the next year, not only the trenches done and the paving's done, the building's all built as well.
Yeah, she's all done. Yeah, bamboo scaffold. Yeah, beautiful.
You get to Bali, you get another job for 20 years, I reckon.
Yeah, I'll tell you a funny story, Paul. We were on a footy trip in Bali. It was a long time ago. I think I was about 19. And we were next to a construction site, and we were having a drink. And it may have been my idiot brother. He was there, and he said to one of the Balinese, "Hey, can you go up that tree and get us a coconut?" And he goes, "How much?" And I think my brother might have handed over like $5 Aussie. I don't know what it was in rupee or whatever it was. This bloke, I've never seen him. He went up this tree that quick, barefoot, like you said, no PPE. There's no steel cap boots or helmets. He just had shorts and no top on. He scaled this bloody tree. He was up and down in about 20 seconds and handed over the coconut. Then my brother was going to piss off without paying him. I said, "This bloke will cut your head off. You better pay him." So. But yeah, I don't muck around, mate. And then, as you said, if you'd gone back 12 months later, the whole thing would have been built. So yeah, there's a bit different over here now, though. You can't do that here.
Well, before we move on to plumbing, Ogre, have you got any more personal questions for old mate here? Because, plumbing is only one part of life. We want to touch on a couple of things. But any more personal questions about leaky taps for you, Butchie?
I got just one. Back in the day when it was a block pipe, like a serious block pipe, they used to bring out the old sewer rooter. Do they still call it that? I used to love it. It's such a simple term.
The sewer rooter. That's you can't put it any clearer than that, mate. That's exactly what I used to call it.
It's still called that.
It's still called the sewer rooter. Yeah. Yep. Oh well, yeah. The nice term is a sewer machine, but
oh yeah, I love it. And for the listeners at home, it's what you put down the pipe that.
Yep.
That cuts through the roots of trees and stuff like that.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it's a steel cable when you attach a little attachment to it that goes down your drain and it cuts through the tree roots and clears the blockage. You hope, but sometimes you're not so lucky that the tree roots have done too much damage. And
the plumber says, "Oh, that worked that time, but next time you probably have to seriously getting it all redone." Yeah, no worries, mate. They're never getting that done to a box again.
Dig it up and relay it. That's when the big bucks come in.
And by the way, I know a bloke who can do that for you, and a mate of mine who'll do a good quote for you, all that stuff. I've said, but they've got cameras on them these days too, so that things would have changed a lot. I said in your day, early days, Butchie, you're digging there and digging out, and now they throw that little sewer rooter out, and it's got the camera on it and tells you everything. I've actually seen that too at a property inspection. They do all that, and it's on the camera at the bloke's. He doesn't even get his hands dirty, this bloke. He sends it down on a little thing, and off it goes, and he just reads what's on the computer or the screen and charges you a fortune.
Yeah, she's all different now. Yeah, exactly. She's all high pressure. They do it with high pressure water now. They send the hose down that just blows it out with the high pressure water. So, she's high tech now, mate. And it's they're worth a fortune, them little trucks.
So if I was starting out in plumbing now, first year apprentice, it doesn't feel like I'll be digging holes and trenches. Would that be fair to say?
With a pick?
No, not with a pick and a shovel, that's for sure. No, they do it with what they call NDD now, non-destructive digging. And that's the big trucks you see on the side of the road where they'll have like the big hose, they call them a camel, like you'll see a big hose like an elephant trunk going down the ground. And that's a vacuum, and they have a pressure jet, and they'll just blow a hole with the pressure jet, and the elephant trunk will suck the dirt out and that's in case they
really?
So they don't damage any of the cables or anything like that. So that's what they use now. You'll see them everywhere now. You'll see them on the side of the road. That's what they use now.
Precision.
So, and they're worth a fortune, mate.
Sounds like you're running a zoo there with camels and elephants and goodness knows what else.
Yeah, well, you've got to keep it simple when you're plumbing, mate. We're not the overly educated fellas, you know that.
That is a very good segue, perhaps, moving away from plumbing. Now, obviously we've been calling you Butch, but I've got my own ideas here, but how does someone get the nickname Butch, and how did you get, and when did you get the nickname Butch?
I think you know this one, Paulie, but I'll tell it for your listeners. Well, the story goes, this is what I got told by my father. When I was born, I was quite a big baby. As you can see, I've got a big buff head. The listeners don't know that, but I reckon I was 10 pounds something, and the old man reckons I was 9 pound head. So when I was born, and the grandpa finally, I think the old man grabbed him out of the pub, and he finally come and visited me, or Mum might have took me round to visit the grandparents, and me pa, dear old Pa Bell, said to me, "Jesus Christ, that's Butch." And that was how it stuck. That's how I got Butch. So good on.
That's incredible. Love it.
Dad's side, father's side, grandpa. Yeah.
Be a family heirloom, and everybody know. If I met, I reckon, and a lot of your friends, if you met 30, no, I reckon 100 of Butch's friends, I reckon there'd be 15 who would know your first name. Would you reckon that'd be fair to say?
Oh, there wouldn't be many, yeah. There was, I'll tell you another little story about that one while you're on that, Paulie. We went to a funeral once, and this is no bullshit. We're at the funeral, I can't remember who it was, but this is about, it would have been probably 20 years ago. Mum had passed away. I don't know whose funeral it was, but it was a family relative, and I'm standing there with the old man, my brother, I think my sister was there, and we had my Uncle Graham there, and my Uncle Graham was married to my Auntie Judy, which is my dad's sister. And dear Uncle Graham, he turned around to the old man, and I think our names were read out in the eulogy. He said, on behalf of Jeff, deceased Joan, and, Darren, Janine and Christopher. And my Uncle Graham turned around to the old man, he goes, "Who the fucking hell's Christopher?" my brother just looked at him, and my old man goes, "What? Are you kidding?" Because my uncle, he didn't realise my real name was Christopher.
I heard that about two footy teammates, and I'm about to play a grand final, and they're going through the record, and this guy said, I'll make it up, he said, who's Chris Bell? And he's just gone, he goes, "That's me, dickhead." It's just like, I've already known you as Lammy, so it's just like, I didn't even know his real name. And there it was. He was sitting next to him, good mates.
I use it a bit at work. I get away with a lot of people, because everyone calls me Butch, but I send off my emails when I do my OHS bit, and, and I might send them a cease work, and it's Chris Bell, and they go, "Who the freaking hell's this Chris Bell?" He goes, "We've got no idea he's given us a cease work. Who is this bloke?" And they say, so I get away with a bit with me two alter egos. So it works sometimes.
Oh, they're bitchy with Chris, but
Butchie, that's
Chris, under the radar.
Right. Butch is pretty easy going. So, use it to your advantage.
So, what name goes in there? You're a handy golfer as well, Chris. What name goes on the? When you book in to play golf and you're a member at Sands? I'm going to touch on that. Club champion or thereabouts, I think.
Yeah.
And we played a couple of games down there ourselves. What name goes on the booking sheet? Chris or Butch?
It goes Chris. It's Chris Bell. Yes, definitely Chris. Yeah, one of Mum's dying wishes was, she said, "For Christ's sake, we're going to start calling him Chris." She hated Butch from day one. She hated it. So that was one of her dying wishes. But I don't keep Chris. I used to get Christopher when I was in trouble with Mum, and that was about it. But there's not too many people call me Chris. My auntie calls me Chris, and that's about it.
So your mum didn't like Butch, but called you Butch?
Oh, no. She never called me Butch.
Never called you Butch?
No, she called me Chris, and then when I was in trouble, Christopher. So, she never called me Butch. She hated it.
And in trouble was often.
Else did. Yeah, in trouble was, yeah. I got called Christopher a lot. Yeah, only because my brother used to set me up, so... As you well know, Paul.
I do. So you're a member at Sands and playing off a handy sub-10, I think, last time. And we played down there.
No, don't stretch it too much, mate. I'm not that good. I'm currently off 13. I sit around 12, 13.
Oh, you've gone backwards. You've gone out since we last played, have you?
No, I think you made me look really good, Paulie, last time. So.
The Matador.
The Matador.
Strikes again.
Couldn't get a word in, the Matador. He was too worried talking instead of worried about where the ball's going.
Well, I did. Well, I didn't start that well when we played, you may recall, Christopher. But I did manage, I think it was, it might have been 8 points or 7 points on hole 10 and 11. So, that saved the round, it's fair to say.
Course.
Tricky?
Yeah, she's a tricky course, Paul. She's a tricky.
If you like bunkers, Ogre, just head down there because there's 400,000 of them. And didn't you tell me when we were playing, they'd taken out, there's 4,000 in the joint and they'd already taken out 3,000. So I would hate to have gone 3 years ago and played there. You'd need a bucket and sand.
No, they've taken out 40. I think there's 140 something bunkers. They've taken out 40, so I think there's still 140. But they're working on taking out a bunker per hole now because they've finally worked out that it costs a fortune to maintain them. So they're actually getting a bit smarter now and trying to fill in a few that don't really catch too many balls. So it wouldn't help you, Paul. I reckon you'd find them.
Well, if there's 140 bunkers down there, I reckon I found every single one of them.
And I reckon you did.
And maybe they can take one out a hole, but I might not go back there until they take 2 out per hole. And it's probably only still marginally improve, I reckon.
No, and then you got the wind and then you got the dams too, so you haven't just got water. So she's a bit tricky, mate. Old Robert Allenby didn't make it too easy.
Did he design that course, did he?
Yeah, Robert Allenby, yeah. Apparently he's never played the course. He designed it, but he's never played it, apparently. So good on him.
I think that...
He left it. That was his gift.
He did. He made a thing for the 20th anniversary of the day, a little video. And he said, I don't know if you blokes want to talk to me, but I heard you have some trouble playing that course, but I'll get there one day, he said. Good on you.
We probably don't want you.
It is very tricky.
Now, you have a relationship also with one of our former guests, the BBQ Man. Now, he was made famous for a couple of things. So, one, obviously, as the BBQ Man, he was, perhaps servicing some of his clients in ways that perhaps he wasn't invoicing for. As a domestic plumber, have you ever been so lucky enough to come up into perhaps, and this is of course pre-marriage and all this sort of stuff, but you come up and go, and a woman asked perhaps maybe that. Maybe you could clean her pipes or something, or maybe clean her lines or something. I don't know, but I'm trying to keep it reasonably subtle. But,
yes, I know exactly where you're going with this, Paulie, and I can honestly say that I wasn't as lucky as Scotty Dell, and that's who you're talking about. But, never had that sort of happen to me, mate. I'm just there, very professional, me, Paulie. You should know that, and just do the work and
just get the job done, get paid, and move on to the next.
Put the invoice and go home to my lovely wife. So. None of that shenanigans goes on.
Well, maybe Scotty might be a fraction more appealing to those who are looking for barbecue cleaners than Butch the plumber.
Yeah, he might have a different smell to him than me too. So he's not a bad-looking rooster, Scotty. He goes all right.
But he's got a lot to thank you for, as some of our listeners would know. Scott told the story about his genuinely near-death experience, and you saved his life. We joke a bit and we laugh.
Oh, is that the Butchie?
This is the Butchie.
He just came back to me when he was telling that story, and he goes, and Butchie came in. I didn't realise this is the one and the same. Butchie's
apparently
not a lifesaver, but he is the lifesaver.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, he is his lifesaver on two fronts. He was the bloke, remember, the barbecue man, Scotty Dell, was talking about the boatie who rows the boats, and they threw bricks at the bloke, and if you can see, you can see Butchie, but you can understand why Butchie didn't duck, and he wore the brick right between the eyes. They said, right, you're on, you can row the surf boats. So Butchie was a surf lifesaver down at Torquay Surf Club, but a genuine, real lifesaver of Scott. So we touched on a little bit with Scott, but in all seriousness, what is that like to be? And it's real and it's happening in real time. What's it like to be put in that situation?
And just for our listeners who don't know the story, we'll just go back where Scotty was in the front yard or driveway, basketball ring connected to the. I'm testing my memory here, Butch. Help me out to the garage.
Yep.
He thought he was young and good looking and could fly through the air and went for the miracle slam dunk.
Yep.
Couldn't tell us whether it went in or not, but then through the action pulled the basketball ring and backboard on top of him with half the garage wall, brick wall.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he did, mate. Yeah, me and Scotty were playing a little, well, not one-on-one. I think we were just shooting hoops and I beat him, of course. He wasn't that good, Scotty. But then anyway, I said to him, they say I saved his life, but I think I might have caused the accident too, because I was actually the one that bowled the ring up for him. Because I was the tradie, so I bowled the ring on the wall. But when I bowled it on with it,
the plumbers put the ring on the wall thinking he's a carpenter.
No, very solid. It was done properly. Scotty actually gave me a hand putting it up there, and I said to him when we're doing this, I said, now this we're going back a bit here. Scotty, I think in the podcast I heard him say about the brick and the boatie and the dumb ones, they don't duck and the brick hits you in the head and that's how you become a boatie. All right, I'll cop that. But now, listen, how stupid is this prick? I told him when we're putting the ring up, whatever you do, you're not Magic Johnson or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was back in the day. Do not hang on the ring and slam dunk, because I said, you'll pull the wall down on yourself. Yeah, Butch, no, I won't do that. We're just going to shoot the hoops. He said, no worries. So there you go. We were just shooting hoops, and I beat him again as usual. And I was about to go for a ride on the bike, and then all of a sudden I heard this almighty fucking bang and turned around, and she wasn't a pretty sight, old Scotty. He was under a pile of bricks, and the rest is history. It wasn't a pretty sight, but. Yeah,
but the interesting part of that story from memory too, Butchie, was that you ran back and lifted the bricks and the ring off him, and then he obviously ended up in hospital and long-term recovery, et cetera, et cetera. And he said it was that heavy, and the next day you could not move it.
Yeah, I did hear him say that, and I actually can't remember. I remember going back, and I do remember lifting the wall off him, but whatever I did, but it's very, very foggy. Like just the adrenaline kicks in, and obviously shock kicked in, and just got the wall off him, and then I yelled out to his sister, go in there and grab towels, and because he had bloody bones sticking out everywhere, and it wasn't a pretty sight, and just said grab the towels, and that's where the life-saving training that I got trained in. He just said, stop the bleeding and put bloody towels everywhere all over his wounds, and that sort of stopped the bleeding until the ambulance got there. And I think that's what they said. They said obviously stopped the bleeding. It probably saved his life. Plus Scotty was super fit at the time, so his fitness probably saved him as well. So, but I don't remember too much. And as I said, I don't. Going back the next day, I don't know whether I could lift it or not. I don't remember that. I actually didn't like looking at it the next day going back there. It wasn't sort of something you want to remember. So, but I remember the next door neighbour. He come scaling over the fence, and I do remember this. And he come over to give me a hand, and he saw the blood and fainted. So there was two of them down. I can't remember what I said to him. Something like, "Get up, you useless prick, give me a hand, will you?" But he was useless. He didn't help too much. But it wasn't a pretty sight, mate, Scotty. But I went and seen him at the hospital the next day, and I don't know if he hadn't been in, or he was about to go into operation, I think, or one of the operations, and he looked up at me, and I saw him, and I knew he wasn't in a good place, and I went in and said, "You all right, mate?" And the tears were sort of streaming down the face a bit. And he turned around and he goes, "Did I get the 3-pointer?" And I went, "You fucking idiot."
He hasn't got a 3-pointer in his life.
He still had his sense of humour. No, he said, he still had his sense of humour. But Jesus, yeah. So it wasn't pretty, but he's alive to talk about it. So. Yeah, so anyone out there, don't put a ring up on a brick wall that's not pinned back to the garage.
And if you do, don't get a plumber to do it.
Don't get a plumber to put the ring in. Yeah, exactly. That's me OH&S talking there. Yeah.
Well, who would have thought you from a
there's the history.
From a plumber at $88 an hour at 16 years of age, from getting kicked out of school at grade 4 or something.
Not $88 an hour, Paul. It was $88
the week. Sorry, it's probably.
Fucking hell. We're about $88 an hour now, but that was for the week.
Turn it up. More than $88 an hour, you blokes. I tell you what, I can't afford to get new taps and stuff these days. But who?
That's for the first 15 minutes, I think.
Yeah, that's the call-out fee. Well, well, who would have thought? Said dirty old plumber has saved a bloke's life, and now living the dream in down at Torquay, and you've got a couple of big projects under your belt down there. You've looked after the last couple of years, so you had the hospital. You got the hospital coming up, I think. You're working on that.
Yeah, got the hospital coming up. I just finished. I'm just about to finish there's a new convention centre getting built in Geelong now with a hotel on it. We're just about to finish that. But prior to that, I was back in Melbourne CBD. I did 2.5 years in the Metro Tunnel. The Metro Tunnel that's still not open. So that's
Do we blame you for that?
Yeah, I don't know. Blame. The union gets the blame for that, but it's not my union. The CFMU get the blame for everything. But yeah, I can honestly tell you that's the builders have got a lot to answer there, mate. So that's the union side of it, telling you about the builders. Incompetence is a very big word with these idiots. So yeah, very, very much. I could tell you stories, but I don't think we've got enough time for that. There's plenty of they're useless.
Well, we don't want to.
A lot of waste of money.
Well, yeah, we if we start talking political stories and allegiances and who does what, who's on first, she's on second, they's on third. You never know what rabbit hole you're gonna get down to. Butchie Bell, exactly. You are a legend, plumber extraordinaire, 13 handicap golfer at one of the toughest courses in Australia, certainly Victoria. It certainly had the Matadors measure, just may I add, and literal lifesaver with the red and yellow cap, and an accomplished reserve grade footballer and baseballer in your time.
just a very ordinary footballer, Paulie.
Well, I tell you, the blokes on the other side knew Butch was coming when he was playing. I'll give you the tip. There's no doubt about that. Butchie Bell, you are an absolute legend. We have had on this show, we've had the we call Scotty Dell the mayor of Torquay. We've had the Yarrawonga mayor just about there, and we've had all sorts of celebrities. But you are, I think, is fair to say, the mayor of golf down at Torquay. You want to play golf, you go play with Butchie. Mayor of the Sands, we're labelling you. So
the Sands, right?
Ogre and I are going to do a golf tour some stage, Ogre. We're going to go and play golf at all these courses of all the guests we've had on, and we'll take their money, Ogre.
No doubt, as long as I'm not your partner.
Yeah, come on down, boys. Yeah, no, stay right away from him.
I hope you can play, Ogre, because I can't, and these boys have taken my money plenty of times.
I played pool with him, Butchie. I can't imagine golf is only worse, so it's longer. It's just nowhere to hide.
Butchie Bell, the mayor of the Sands, thanks for joining us.
Good on you, boys.
Good on you, Butchie. So, Big Paulie, how was Butchie Bell? Just your everyday knockabout plumber, out of school at 16, 16th birthday, $88 a week, and now he's, living on the construction sites and telling everyone how to make sure they stay safe.
Well, if there is ever somebody you want to have a drink with, Butchie Bell is it, I reckon. As you say, a 16-year-old plumber, been through the whole rigmarole, cricketer, baseballer, surf lifesaver. Not very good at anything, but good bloke and a genuine lifesaver. So old mate Mr. Barbecue, he's saved his life and he's gone on to great things. And Butchie Bell, it's all because of him. So Butchie Bell, legend of a man, absolute superstar of a bloke.
And they are everyday skills that we all need at some stage. The old-fashioned plumber.
You can't beat a plumber, but you should be okay now because you've asked him how to fix your tap and you're leaking something and not dripping something. So hopefully now you can go and do those little chores around your place. And when you're doing them...
The rent. Ring up the landlord, ring up the rent agency and say, I've got a problem. I was never going to fix it. I was just going, this is weird. This is weird.
Well, you're lucky that Butchie Bell doesn't send you an invoice, or he might send the landlord an invoice and you put a little clip on the top and take something yourself, Ogre.
You've been listening to another episode of Clueless with Ogre and Big Paulie. We'll wrap it up there and we'll see you next time for episode 10. Can't wait. See you later, Big Paulie.
See you, Ogre. Take care, mate.
You've been listening to another episode of Clueless with Ogre and Big Paulie. Follow, like, subscribe, even leave a review. Do it all. We'd love to hear from you.